Hi, Henrik Knudsen here. I would like to use a little time to present some of the main issues in the readings for this course, Entrepreneurship, Intrapreneurship and Interpreneurship. And what we'll be addressing here is shortly about value creation and then move on to the value chain, how it's developed. And this is a reading with Stable and Fjelsted. And finally, I'll dwell at the last page in the reading concerning a model for innovation management and look at Dasu's Innovation Diamond. And the reason for this screencast is to try and make it easier to take the readings and to try and focus on some of the issues that I find important and relevant to discuss. And there will be some breaks underway, so I'll be asking you to address different questions. Actually, already starting with the very next slide, because as we're looking at three different aspects: entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship, and interpreneurship, then I would like you to identify three companies that you find interesting with respect to, first of all, entrepreneurship. Find a company, pause the screencast, and start thinking about a company that you think is interesting with respect to entrepreneurship. So where do you find an interesting entrepreneurial company? Reflect on it, write it down, and then move on to the next one and say, which company would you recommend or would you point at as interesting concerning intrapreneurship? So intrapreneurship essentially is companies that are good at generating new ideas, new businesses within the organizational framework itself. Can also be related to some spin-offs, but entrepreneurship, generating new businesses within the organization and or as spin-outs, spin-offs. Finally, third, interpreneurship. So which company would you recommend? Which company would you point at as saying this is a good company that is able to work in networks and perhaps some open innovation, good at looking at the interpreneurship perspective, i.e. working together with other organizations or companies in some respect. So dwell on this, find three companies, one that you find is interesting within entrepreneurship, one that you find is interesting with intrapreneurship, generating new business ideas within itself, and thirdly, interpreneurship, one that is a company that you find interesting, good at developing within a network or in collaboration, strategic alliances with other companies. And then write down, why are these companies interesting? So find them, pause the screencast, and write down why they're interesting, and please feel free to send to me on my mail address. So let's set the scene for entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship, and interpreneurship. Basically this, because this is how the amount of organizations, companies have developed within agriculture, service, and the industry over time. So as time moves on, a smaller and smaller part of all the employment and to a certain extent also the revenue is made, a smaller part is within agriculture. This is also, of course, country dependent. This would be quite illustrative of the Danish economy and some other major European countries. So please be aware of the fact that this illustrates it's very country specific. And then industry, we've probably seen the top of the industry with the large production series is dwelling, and the overall increase is within services. This also means that a lot of entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship and entrepreneurship will be happening mainly within services, to a certain extent within industry, and to a less extent within agriculture. This is also where revenue is generated. So a greater part of the revenue is generated within services. And services themselves have also developed in the sense that probably heard the term of experience economy. So the experience economy is the next part after services, where customers are not so much buying services and more buying experiences. We'll be getting back to that. Okay, now next time, this is where I also want you to have a break and think about value chain. You know Porter's value chain, you've seen it up 10 times, probably also use it quite a lot. And think about the value chain in two different contexts. This could be car manufacturing, or it could be shirt manufacturing. So we're in production, we're in industry. And this is typically where we have the value chain with inbound logistics, production, outbound marketing, services. Classical value chain. So the car manufacturer or the shirt manufacturer, they have inputs in their value chain, there's some processing, and then there's output. The technology is linked, and it's linked for historically a long term. It's also a very long value chain quite often. The activities inbound, processing, outbound, and if we're looking at Porters, there's also some support functions. Cost drivers, economies of scale. What is the capacity that can be used within the car production? How good is the capacity utilized? And some of the value drivers would be resource allocation. How much resources do we have within the different aspects? What do they cost? Do we have any sole rights or special agreements? And this is interlinked chains. So we'll be often the car manufacturer or the shirt manufacturer, they're linked to other chains, at least upstream, say building motors or iron ore if it's the cars, or if it's shirts, then it could be some cotton mills or dyeing of the cotton and the fabric, and the interactivity between them is sequential. So the value chain is sequential. It starts with the inputs, inbound logistics, then it moves on to the production, etc. So it's a sequential interactivity logic. Let's go back and pause for a minute and say, also apply for, let's say, consultancy business. Consultant business, business development, marketing bureau, when you go to the doctor. So imagine going to the doctor or a marketing bureau. How well does the value chain describe them? Not very well. This is where the value shop is much more efficient. So the value shop, try and use the example of a marketing bureau and your doctor. So within the shop, the value creation is solving customers' problems. So we want a marketing issue solved, or we have an ailment that we go to the doctor with. Why do we go there? Why do you go to this consultancy, whether it's a marketing bureau or the doctor? Because there is an information asymmetry. They have some expertise that we would like to use. We would like them to give some solution to our situation. So they're solving our problem by having superior information. And this is also quite a question of circular information. Technology is not as long linked as it is within the value chain, because it's ad hoc. So it's a very intensive technology use, and what's actually happening is they identify the problem. How should this marketing be approached, or what is it that the doctor sets as diagnosed? And then there's a choice, execution, control, and evaluation. And the value shop is often with business cases. They have, we trust them. We have heard that they solved the problem previously for ourselves or for other organizations, other people we know. So this is the individual cases that they have been solving. That gives them good results and good reputation. So the system structure is very much as referred shops. And where the value chain was sequential, then the interactivity logic is cyclical or spiraling. So it's we go to the consultancy, whether it's a marketing bureau, a doctor. What's wrong? What would you like solved? This is what we would like solved. This information keeps on working till finally there's enough information to make this choice and a recommendation, whether it's how we should market or what our ailment is with the doctor, so you can make a proper diagnosis. So reflect on this for a moment. The value chain as compared to the value shop. Now, these two situations, these two cases, don't fit very well with, let's say, logistics company, DHL. Yes, they do solve our problems, but in a different manner. Or another one that we could as an example is a telecommunication company. Let's just take Telia. And what they do is they link customers. So we go to DHL and say we have our products, i.e. from the car manufacturer or the church. So they link the factory producing the shirts to whichever outlets we wanted delivered. And what they're mediating. They go in between customers and solve some specific problem, i.e. transportation of goods, or if it's Telia, then solving our communication. What they do is they have contracts. They have different contracts that we can negotiate. They also have an infrastructure. DHL, they have infrastructure of trucks, trains, ships, planes, you name it, of transporting. Telia has an infrastructure of telecommunications, being able to transport our text messages and our messages to and from. I only have a minute left, so I'll be brief and come back with a new screencast for the next. Have a look at these other issues concerning a value network, and then just pause it and go slowly through it. This is our car manufacturer or shirt manufacturer. This is consulting, whether it's a marketing or a doctor. And this network is linking together customers with some infrastructure, i.e. DHL Artelia. So that brings to the end of this screencast.